Breaker 19, this here's Trashy Talkie riding roughshod on the way to Cowtown, and I'm hauling dynamite with a whole mess of super troopers on my beaver flat. Anyone got their ears on? Come on back. Well, howdy do, Trashy Talkie. This here's the Rubber Duck hauling hog out of Shaky Town on I-10. You say you got a bear problem? That's Big 10-4, good buddy. Got me a sleeves docket to deliver, and these county mounties are giving me all sorts of hard times. Sure could use me some divine intervention, if you know what I mean. Affirmative, Trashy Talkie. Got me a suicide jockey on 45 just raring to stop those bear in the tracks. Says the easiest way is to stop talking through that there glory hole and just be yourself. Oh yeah! Well, with that action halted, it's time to introduce today's high adrenaline amusement. 1985's Malibu Express. A sleazy spy flick about a private detective who's a tall walking glass of panty peeler. Meaning, he gets with just about every woman in this one, and most of them are pretty easy on the eyes. So let's shift that sleaze docket into fourth gear and lay some rubber on the road. We have 3 dead bodies, 2 cups blood, 38 naked breasts, 3 naked butts, shower sex scene. Or rather, at least part of one. 2 girls, 1 shower. Highly in-depth bikini shower. 4 Playboy models. Gunfight boob distraction. Boob-assisted hitchhiking. 1 incredibly revealing robe. 1 wet, clingy A-shirt. 1 extremely horny race car girl. Knife to the stomach. 5 bullets to the chest. Bullet to the head. Bullet to the ear. Bullet to the shoulder. Bullet to the gut. Shotgun blast to the knee. High-speed race car to the hip. 1 exploding car. 1 shot-up car. 3 street races. Gun barrel pants penetration. Blackmail porn. Gratuitous Regis Philbin. Gratuitous dirty harrying. Gratuitous lisping. 1 transforming rocket car. 1 exploding goon. 1 big fucking gun. 1 melting face mask. End movie wrap-up epiloguery, and 1 cherry red DeLorean. Malibu Express is a story with international espionage, car chases, gunfights, fistfights, scandal, blackmail, and most importantly, tons and tons of tig-ol' bitties. And at the center of it all is a man who nails just about every woman in the cast. A man by the name of Cody Abilene. This kind of goofy looking dude with the curly blonde hair and knockoff Tom Selleck stash. Man, the 80s were a hell of a decade. Anywho, Cody is a private detective who's called on to a case about a tech company whose secrets are being stolen by the Russians. The man in charge of finding the leak has his suspicions and hires Cody to snoop around the household of Lady Lillian Chamberlain, who just happens to be good friends with the company president, Contessa Luciana. But don't get too wrapped up in the details early on, because the whole espionage angle kind of takes a major back seat to the rich folk shenanigans going on inside the Chamberlain household. Just like in the best trashy soap operas your grandma used to watch, the well-to-do are doing it all over the place.
Oh, it's fun to watch rich people be naughty.
But let's begin with the beginning. A motherfucking cherry red DeLorean rolls up and outsteps Mr. Sex Appeal himself, Cody. He carries a cowskin briefcase inside and opens it up to show off the biggest gun outside of a Schwarzenegger movie. Cody puts on his ear protection, his safety shades, loads the gun, and then proceeds to miss everything except the light fixture.
See you next week, John.
I can hardly wait.
We jump cut to the racetrack where Cody watches a car hauling ass around the turns. The driver hops out and...
Oh, it's a lady.
This here is professional race car driver June Knockers, and God damn she sure is. Wow. I heard in the original script this character's name was going to be June Lower Back Pain. What does this have to do with our story? Absolutely nothing. And I don't give a damn either. We just gotta establish early how women can't keep their clothes on when Cody's around. God damn, this movie's awesome. Alright. The movie is pretty self-indulgent for a while, so let's skip through it a little quicker. We find out that Cody owns a boat at the local yacht club, and the head of the club committee just happens to be the guy in charge of the stolen tech investigation. And that's how Cody gets involved. But first we have to meet the brand new neighbors who invite themselves in and ask if they can borrow a cup of shower. God damn, this movie is awesome.
Hey boss, I found that copy of Inseminoid you was looking for, and holy testicle Tuesday, what the hell is you watching in here?
Oh, hey there, little sugar pants. I'm watching Malibu Express.
Sweet baby Jesus, I am glad we don't see the censor bars on this side of the camera. Hey boss, when you're done with this one, can I borrow this movie and have a little, alone time in the viewing room?
Well, okay, but don't make a mess in the viewing room.
I make no promises, boss.
Cody gets an alert on his futuristic and high-tech pager, telling him to head over to Contessa Luciana's house, and she greets him wearing, well, I don't know what she's wearing. God damn, this movie is awesome. She puts on a glittery cocktail dress that would make Jessica Rabbit blush, and the two go out for some dinner, dancing, and dicking. Eventually, she confesses she didn't just invite him over for sex, and explains that he needs to stay at the Chamberlain household and do some snooping around. And while he's there, we find out all the dirty secrets happening inside. Most importantly, Shane, the servant, is doing his best to get as much blackmail material as he can a good 37 years before the U.S. passes any revenge porn laws. He also attempts to blackmail Stuart, Lady Chamberlain's nephew. Turns out he's a professional drag queen and homosexual who performs at the Screaming Cockatoo.
I don't believe this one. Stuart has just turned into the most gorgeous woman.
What a progressive hero we have in this one. I was expecting some crass joke that totally would have been acceptable back in 1985.
Wow.
Now don't get me wrong, Shane's all full of awful homophobic comments, and we get some disgusting jokes from others. But our hero? Well, I'm a little sorry for making fun of him earlier on. He's definitely won me over. Now, the whole reason Shane's doing all this blackmail is because he's in deep with some shady characters over some gambling debts, and it just so happens the bill comes due while Cody is there to witness the messy aftermath. From that point on, Cody's focus fixates on who murdered Shane, and it occasionally crosses over into the overall espionage angle. And more than a couple of times we run into the Buffingtons, the rednecks currently in an automobile rivalry with Cody and his dad, who insist on finding out who's got the fastest car. It has practically nothing to do with the plot or the story at all. It's just a goofy little diversion that occasionally keeps Cody from getting to a couple of appointments on time. The whole movie has a semi-serious tone, but is very light considering the subject material. And while the vast majority of the script seems to be a way to get us to see the dirty, it's a lot more in-depth than your run-of-the-mill late-night skin flick. Don't get me wrong, there are more than a couple moments where the goods are displayed based on the flimsiest of excuses. Like when Cody finds evidence of Shane's murder and pretends to call it into the police, but dials a sex chat line instead. Or when Cody and his police hookup hide from the bad guys in the shower and turn the water on. Wasn't really necessary to do that, but I appreciate the impromptu wet t-shirt contest. The phone call when the neighbor ladies pop over for some hot coffee. And Cody calls the phone sex gal a second time, only this time she's working the switchboard for some reason. Still doesn't stop her from nuding up at work again. Or how about when the shady computer broker's henchman sends Cody racing down the highway and June Knockers gets so horned up by the speed she can't help but strip down and climb into the driver's seat where Cody is currently sitting. God damn, this movie is awesome. Basically, the whole thing feels like some lower quality James Bond fan fiction to specifically submit to Penthouse Forum. And I'm perfectly fine with that. It's pure fantasy, so let's make it a fun one. I won't spoil any more details of the story because it's pretty obvious I'm going to give this one my glowing recommendation. If you haven't seen this one, definitely go track down a copy and do so soon. It's funny, charming, sexy, and packed with a lot more action than I expected to see. But I do wonder if the movie's music composer, Henry Strzelecki, was a fan of Devo. Malibu Express was written and directed by Andy Sidaris, and it's considered to be the initial entry into his Girls with Guns series of movies that he would go on to direct. Hard Ticket to Hawaii, Picasso Trigger, Savage Beach, Guns, Do or Die, Hard Hunted, Fit to Kill, and Day of the Warrior. After enjoying Malibu Express as much as I did, I'm very strongly considering continuing down Mr. Sidaris' library of tawdry talkies. Darby Hinton played our smooth-talking Texan Cody, but got a lot of work prior to that role, most notably 110 episodes of Disney's Daniel Boone. But it's also the second time he's been on the show. Remember the wimpy book-reading son in Without Warning? Yeah, neither do I, actually. The sultry Contessa Luciana was played by the always gorgeous Sybil Danning. She was also in Battle Beyond the Stars, Chained Heat, 1983's Hercules, The Panther Squad, Howling 2, Reform School Girls, Warrior Queen, Amazon Women on the Moon, Grindhouse during the fake trailer for Werewolf Women of the SS, and Rob Zombie's Halloween. Shane was played by Brett Baxter Clark, who had some work over the years, but my absolute favorite role of his was in the movie Bachelor Party, when Tom Hanks tried to feed Brett's pecker to his future mother-in-law by disguising it as a foot-long hot dog. Oh yes! And the opening credits specifically name 4 Playboy Playmates, but we actually have 6 ladies who got naked for old Hugh Hefner. Lorraine Michaels was Liza Chamberlain, but she was also April 1981's Playmate of the Month. The bodaciously top-heavy June Knockers was played by Linda Weissmeyer, Playmate of the Month for July 1982. Cody's sexy little boat neighbors were played by Kimberly MacArthur and Barbara Edwards, who were also Playmates for January 1982 and September 1983, respectively. Laurie Sutton, who played Cody's sexy blonde cop friend Beverly, was in November 1984's issue. And Suzanne M. Regard was the dirty phone jockey in this one, but later she would strip down for October 1986. Well, folks, I was in the middle of a little chase here, so I'm going to get right back down to that and let y'all head on down the highway your own way. And until I greet you again, this is your bandit buddy boy, Sugar Pants.
See you in your dreams, cowboy.
Y'all come right in.
God bless you, sir.
God certainly blessed you, ma'am.